Yes, isn't gonna work. Oh, and I know what you're probably thinking.
We can edit out all of this.
Because it's a $100 bike, with plastic tires,
The Kardashians have failed me.
brakes and suspension of questionable work ethic,
I made back Sally said a swear word.
and I will be testing it.
Oh God. This is kind of bad. Oh no, he's butt still skinny.
What more do you need to know, really? Hey guys, I'm Gunner. This is Gunner Goes, and today we're going to be kicking off this channel with a very special video. Now, if you've ended up here by some random chance you do not know anything about me, that's okay. I'll do another video soon where I tell you a little bit more about me and what I do. But for now, all you really need to know is I'm just a kid from Vernon, British Columbia, and I like to ride bikes. So today's video is a project my dad and I made for the 2026 Trail Ninjas movie night. It's an event our local club, Knox, puts on every year to raise money for the Trail Ninjas Youth Mountain Bike Program. Community members submit their edits and the best ones are chosen to be shown on the big screen, alongside our amazing local pros like Brett Reeder and Tom and Bass Van Steenbergen. I've been lucky enough to have my edits shown on the big screen for the last 2 years now, and this year I wanted to make something really special. So we came up with the idea to do a mountain bike video in the style of one of my all-time favorite shows, Top Gear. It took a few props, 5 months of shooting, and about 2 million takes, but the end result was pretty awesome. We named it Road Test. Check it out and hope you enjoy.
Here we go! Here we go!
Hello and welcome to what's obviously not a bike park or the steps of the Vernon Courthouse. Instead, I've come here to Canadian Tire to answer a very important question. But before I get to that, I'll start with this. And this is the Chromag Minor Thread, and it is excellent. It's got top-of-the-line suspension, brakes, tires. It even has modern geometry. So it's about as good as a kid's bike can get. There is, however, one small problem with it. It costs $4,500, and that's a lot of money for any bike, really. Never mind a kid's bike. This price tag becomes even more shocking when you go inside Canadian Tire, where kids' bikes of the size can be picked up for less than $300. And that's a pretty serious price gap. And to give you an idea of how big, you could buy 17 of these bikes and still have enough money left over for a bike park season's pass, all for the price of one Chromag. But the question is, why? Well, to find out, I've bought this. A secondhand hardware store bike that I picked up for just $100 cash. And I will be testing it to see if it's just a child's toy dressed up as an MTB or if it can actually do mountain bike things. And I shall do that with a good old-fashioned road test. Some down-to-earth consumer reporting. All your questions answered. And it is a CCM Static 24, and on the surface it looks pretty good. Now, people primarily know CCM for hockey equipment, but what CCM really stands for is Canadian Cycle and Motor. They were established in Ontario in 1899. So they were making bicycles long before they made hockey equipment. And that 125 years of craftsmanship is on full display here. It has a frame made of alloy, probably, Shimano components, suspension that compresses and rebounds as well. The shifter has 7 speeds and is controlled by this little twist shifter doohickey. And oddly enough, there's one on the left as well. No idea why, but moving on. The brakes are a bit curious because there are no rotors and the pads squeeze the rim directly. And they're mounted on these arms in a sort of V configuration. The tires are 24 inches and made by a company called Sloan, and they feel like they're more made of plastic than rubber. Probably should have been called the Kardashians, but anyway, they are round, they are knobby, and they are, for the moment, holding air. Overall, I think you can clearly see it's a veritable all-you-can-eat buffet of engineering excellence. One word, good. It pedals pretty efficiently. The steering and handling is nice and snappy. It's even got a pretty comfortable saddle. Not a bad place to be. There are even a couple surprises too. First of which is the brakes. Now, I've read that Bosch is developing an anti-lock braking system. Well, it seems CCM is beating them to it. Because you can pull on these brakes as hard as you possibly can and you will not skid. You simply come to a nice controlled stop. Good safety feature there. I finally worked out what this left shifter does. Turns out it's a safety feature as well. Allow me to demonstrate. Simply give it a twist and this super loud popping and banging noise starts to occur. And kids, if your parents are anywhere in a 5-mile radius, they'll know that you're alive and still pedaling. Good safety feature, that. Well, not really. It only weighs 36 pounds, which is less than a lot of things, really. Like a mailbox, a picnic table, a washing machine, a Dodge Ram, a fire hydrant, a futon, a bookshelf, a Chrysler PT Cruiser, a concrete block, a Christmas tree, a shopping cart, a sofa, a garbage bin, or 1.8 large cats. And that's not too heavy if you think about it. Yes. Yes, it is. Now, published numbers were difficult to come by, but using my highly developed mathematical skills, I've come up with a list of figures that will make even the most die-hard bike nerds salivate like one of Pavlov's dogs. Starting with the chainstays, they are long. Their reach is not. Bottom bracket drop, how can I put this? It sort of doesn't. Onto the stem length. Now this is typically measured in millimeters, of course, but in this case, I think yards would be more appropriate. And as for the all-important head tube angle, I've calculated that it is between 0 and 90 degrees. What more do you need to know, really? Well, to find out, I've brought it here. Silver Star Bike Park's Random Friday Night Race Series, the very crucible of speed. And not just any Friday night race, tonight I'll be taking on the challenging Sheehan Showed course, an intermediate tech trail littered with roots, rocks, and tricky wooden features. After some successful practice laps...
This is kind of bad! This is not fun! Oh my god! Holy... Sorry!
I was ready to take the start.
3, 2, 1, go!
The grip on offer for the Kardashian is not exactly top shelf, if I'm honest. You're gonna have to work a little bit harder than that. B brakes, that's not good enough. The suspension has two jobs, really. One of them is to cushion the rider's impacts. The other one is to keep the wheels on the ground to maintain traction. This is doing neither of those things. And across the line!
I hate this thing. Well, I think that all went rather well. I have the times here and they are quite interesting. And now I know what you're thinking. Because it's a $100 bike with plastic tires, brakes and suspension of questionable work ethic, that probably finished somewhere down here at the bottom. And you'd think that, and you'd be absolutely right, because it finished right here, just ahead of the 6-year-old and the man with the flat tire. So, not last then. So, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that it goes when you pedal, it stops when you pull the brakes, eventually, and that it's faster in a downhill race than a fetus. One question remains, however, and this is the big one. Something that no bike review would be considered complete without. It's a question that has been on the minds of mountain bikers since the earliest days of the sport. Something that I find myself asking and being asked almost daily. Well, then let's find out.
If you've been riding mountain bikes for more than a few weeks, really, you've undoubtedly found yourself in this exact situation. And you'll know that if you want to outrun the chicken man, you'll need a bike dependable and capable. That's exactly what I'm riding here today. Of course, it's the ultimate villain's bike, the Rocky Mountain Slayer. It's even got a Jason mask on its seat post. Let's see if I can lose him in the ball. Whew. You can't park there, mate! Pro tip, kids. if you find yourself being chased by a middle-aged man in a bike park, simply send it off the nearest drop. You'll have to go to work tomorrow, so you'll probably chicken out. Oh, and my prediction was right. The chicken jockey has chickened out. See you at Mary Brown, sucker.
Well, and there you have it. For only $100 cash, a bike capable of outrunning and apparently outsmarting any poultry-themed cosplay you may come across. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you all for watching and have a good night.
There's no dignity in this. None whatsoever.
Hi again, guys. Hope you had fun watching that one. I know I had a ton of fun making it. And if you want to learn more about Knox and the Trail Ninjas program, be sure to check the link in the description. And if you want to see more videos from me, stay tuned. I'll be adding more content to this channel in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
I think it's the end of the line.
No, it's not. Take your camera.